Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Jeopardy! My name is Haley Mullins, and I will be your host. Today's episode is a special edition covering the topic of emotion and interpersonal communication, and featuring special contestants, the students of Ivy Tech Comm 102 class. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, emotion is a conscious mental reaction, subjectively experienced as a strong feeling, usually directed towards a specific object and typically accompanied by physiological and behavioral changes in the body. But how does emotion relate to interpersonal communication, you ask? Well, emotion is a key part of all communication. Emotion can be displayed while communicating in many ways, including our tone of voice, our body posture, facial expressions, and our overall behavior. We all have experienced different emotions throughout our lifetime, such as the primary emotions of anger, happiness, love, joy, jealousy, passion, sadness, and many, many more. There are also secondary emotions, which are composed of a combination of primary emotions. Sometimes people even experience meta emotions. Meta emotions are when you have an emotion about an emotion. Emotions can be a good thing because they allow us to express how we feel. But how emotions are felt and expressed can vary widely in valence and intensity. This is because there are many different factors that influence how emotions are felt and expressed. Some of these factors can include culture, display rules, gender, personality, power, and emotional contagion. Let me elaborate on these factors a little. For example, collectivistic cultures, such as those in China, tend to be less likely to address or express their emotions for the good of the group. Display rules are unwritten rules that govern the way emotions are handled and expressed. Gender affects how emotions are expressed because while women are more likely to express both positive and negative emotions, men are more likely to express hostile emotions. Personality can play a role as well. Some people are introverts and some people are extroverts, which takes an effect on how emotion is expressed. Power can affect emotion expression for fear of repercussions or intimidation. And emotional contagion affects how emotions are expressed. Emotion contagion is the tendency to imitate the emotional expressions of others. No matter what factor has influenced your emotion expression, it is always important to be effective in communicating, understanding, and managing emotions. The best practice is to build your emotional communication skills. This can be done by identifying your emotions, reconsidering negative emotions, being accountable for your emotions, and separating your emotions from actions. Now that you have some insight on what emotion means in interpersonal communication, let's get on with the game. This is Jeopardy! Welcome to Jeopardy! Today's special guests are Dr. Johnson's interpersonal communication students. On this episode of Jeopardy, the theme will be emotion and interpersonal communication. Let's get started. The topics are El Guerrero's theories of emotion, the nature of emotion, influences on emotional expression, display rules, and extra points for Comm 102 miscellaneous subjects. Let's click the first one for $100, theories on emotion. Scientist Laura Guerrero believes that all emotions can be placed in how many categories? This was in chapter 8. 3 categories. She believes that all emotions can be grouped into 3 categories: the joyful, affectionate emotions such as happiness, love, passion, liking. And then the second category is hostile emotions: anger, contempt, disgust, jealousy, and envy. And the third category is sad, anxious emotions, and that's just sadness, depression, grief, and fear. Okay, back to the board, guys. Let's go with Guerrero's theories on emotion for $200. Scientist Laura Guerrero believes, oh, did I click that one first? Back to the board. This emotion is characterized by a state of joy, contentment, and pleasure. And this is in Guerrero's theory. Happiness. What is happiness? Guerrero theories on emotion for $300. An emotional response to being wronged. What is anger? We've all felt that. Theories on emotion for $300. Oh, this not. Okay. Okay. Theories on emotion for $400. According to Laura Guerrero's 3 categories of emotion, happiness, love, passion, and liking belong to this category. What is the category of joyful, affectionate emotions? Guerrero's theories on emotion for $500. In Guerrero's 3 categories of emotion, this one consists of anger, contempt, disgust, jealousy, and envy. What is hostile emotions? Back to the board, and let's go with the nature of emotion for $100. These emotions are composed of a combination of different primary emotions. What is secondary emotions? The nature of emotion for $200. A man is upset with himself about feeling angry. This is an example of what? What are meta emotions? The nature of emotion for $300. Emotions are physiological, behavioral, cognitive, social, and cultural. This indicates that emotions are multidimensional. emotions for $400. The positivity or negativity of an emotion is referred to as emotional valence. The nature of emotion for $500. Paul Ekman's 6 primary emotions are: what is joy, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, and disgust? Back to the Jeopardy board. Next topic, influences on emotional expression. We'll take 100. The tendency to mimic the emotional experiences or expressions of others. What is emotional contagion? Back to the Jeopardy board. Influences on emotional expression for $200. One's tendency to be social and outgoing is... what is extroversion? Back to the Jeopardy board. Influences on emotional expression for $300. One's tendency to think negative thoughts about oneself. What is neuroticism? Influences on emotional expression for $400. The personality trait that limits a person's ability to understand and describe emotions is called... what is alexithymia? Back to the Jeopardy board. Okay, influences on emotional expression for $500. The ability to perceive and understand emotions, use emotions to facilitate thought, and manage emotions is referred to as... what is emotional intelligence? Back to the Jeopardy board. Next category, display rules. We'll take display rules for $100. Exaggerating your emotion to appear as though you're experiencing it more intensely than you actually are is called... what is intensification? Back to the Jeopardy board. Display rules for $200. Expressing one emotion when you're actually experiencing a completely different one is called... what is masking? Back to the Jeopardy board. Display rules for $300. Acting indifferent or emotionless when you're actually feeling an emotion is called... what is inhibition? Display rules for $400. Unwritten codes that govern the ways people manage or express emotions is referred to as... what is display rules? Display rules for $500. Downplaying an emotion to appear as though you are experiencing it less intensely than you are is called de-intensification. Back to the Jeopardy board. Let's get extra points for Comm 102, $200. A vague, mild expression that symbolizes something more blunt or harsh refers to, what is a euphemism? Back to the Jeopardy board. $300, Comm 102. Informal or unconventional words that are understood by only by others in the same particular subculture is called, what is slang? Back to the board. 400. The extent to which others find our words and actions trustworthy refers to, what is credibility? $500. A characteristic that discredits a person, causing that person to be seen as undesirable, is a stigma. Comm 102 for $600. A set of expectations for appropriate behavior that a culture typically assigns to an individual based on their gender is called, what is gender roles? Okay, that's it for this round of Jeopardy. Thank you all for participating, and I hope you enjoyed it and got a lot of points. And that is it. We will see you next time. Thank you.